Hi everyone, I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Today I'm going to finish lesson 73, parts 5 to 9 with you today. So let's start off with part 5. We're solving ratio word problems. So as you can see, example A has already been shown on your page. So let's solve that together and walk through those steps. So the question is, there are 5 birds for every 3 cats. How many cats are there if there are 25 birds? So the first thing we need to do is fill in and make our ratio. So it says there are 5 birds for every 3 cats. So birds will be our top term and cats will be our bottom term. And now we have to look and make our ratio. We have to look at there are 5 birds, so that will be our top number, and there are 3 cats. Now the question is asking, how many cats are there if there are 25 birds? So let's fill in our last bit of information. So if there's 25 birds, that will be what our ratio is equaling. And we make sure that it's on our top number, since that is the number that will be showing birds. So 25 will be our top number. And now we have to find out what ratio and what fraction are we multiplying 5 over 3 to get our final answer, so we can solve for our bottom number, which will be how many cats there are. So we can look, what number can we multiply by 5 to get 25? We can even do some skip counting. We have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So 5 times 5 will give us 25. And now when we're multiplying our fraction, to make an equivalent fraction, we can only multiply the same number by the top and the bottom. So our bottom number will also be 5. Now we can solve 3 times 5 to find out how many cats there are. So we know 3 times 5 will give us 15. So our answer is there are 15 cats. There we are. So you can now pause this video and complete B and C of part 5. You can come back for part 6 when you're ready. So for part 6, we're making some number families with fractions. Let's do A together. I'll just draw it out first. So we have 13 over 15. All right, so we have our first small number, which is 13 over 15. And then we have our big number, which is 1. Now the first thing that we need to do before we solve is to change our big number into a fraction. We need to make sure that both of our small numbers and our big number are all fractions to solve. So first we need to make sure that this has the same bottom number. Now we know underneath every whole number is the bottom number of 1. And then we want to make sure that it has the bottom number of 15. So I'll multiply the bottom and the top by 15. So now our new fraction is 15 over 15. Now we have to look at what do we have to do to get from 13 over 15 to 15 over 15. We know that the bottom number for our small number that we're looking for will be 15, as the number always stays the same when we're adding or subtracting. So what happens? What do we need to do to get from 13 to 15? We need to add 2. So our other small number will be 2 over 15. So you can pause this video, finish part 6, and you can also start on part 7 where you're completing the equations. You need to look at each question and see whether you need to complete and add the sign, whether addition, subtraction, or multiplication, whether you need to solve a fraction by making a division, or by completing the fraction here. So let's work on part 8. For part 8, we're writing the complete equation. So you need to make sure you're watching which sign you're working with. Remember, when we're adding or subtracting fractions, you need to make sure you have the same bottom number and you're working with 2 fractions. But when we're multiplying, you don't need to change any fractions and you can go right ahead and solve. So let's do one together. We'll do A, and you can do the rest on your own. All right, so A, we have 12 over 5 minus 1. Now our first step is to check what sign is being used in our question. So since it's subtraction, we know that both numbers need to be a fraction that has the same bottom number of 5. So let's change our whole number. We know every whole number has a bottom number of 1. So we'll multiply the top and the bottom by 5 to make sure we have matching bottom numbers. So let's rewrite our new equation. We had 12 over 5 minus 1 times 5, which will give us 5, and 1 times 5 will give us 5 again. So now as we are subtracting, our bottom number will stay the same, and we can subtract 12 minus 5, which will give us 7. So our final answer is 7 over 5. So now you can pause this video, finish part 8. Make sure you're looking at whether you are adding, subtracting, or multiplying, and that you're changing the whole number into a fraction when you add or subtract. So come back for part 9 when you're all finished. So for part 9, we're solving area. So let's do A together. We're going to first draw the diagram and then figure out the area. So remember, when we're solving for area, we need to include our units, and the formula we use is length times width. So let's do A together. We have a fence is 11 feet high and 290 feet long. So I'll just draw this out now. So we have our height, 11 feet, and then it is 290 feet long. So let's remember our formula. We have length times width, and our length is 290 feet, and our width or height is 11 feet. So we need to multiply 290 times 11. So let's go ahead. I'll do it down here for now. We have 290 times 11. Now we need to make sure that we're only multiplying one number at a time. So let's first work with the number in the ones column. We have 1 times 0, which will give us 0. Then we have 1 times 9, which will give us 9. And then we have 2 times 1, which will give us 2. So next we're going to look at our tens column. Make sure we're adding our 0 to show that it's now in a new place value. So now we'll solve 1 times 0, which will give us 0. 1 times 9, which will give us 9. And then 2 times 1 will give us 2. Now let's add these together to find our final answer. So 0 plus 0, 0. We have 9 plus 0, which will give us 9. 2 plus 9 will give us 11. I'll carry over the 1. And lastly, we have 1 plus 2, which will give us 3. So our final answer is 3,190. So I'm just going to erase so we can rewrite this with the main question. And make sure we include our units of measurement. So our answer is 3,190 square feet. There we are. So now you can pause this video, finish B, and we are all finished for today. So keep up the awesome job. Thanks, guys. Bye.